Warning: this video contains spoilers. If you haven't read it yet, please read before watching the video. This story contains sensitive content that may disturb you. Hey everyone, here is another video of a summary of one of the tales from the Pizzaplex books. Today I will summarize the first story of Tales from the Pizzaplex number 2, HAPPS, called Help Wanted. Enjoy the video and let's get started. Steve works as a janitor at a gas station. He doesn't want to be a janitor but a video game developer since he has the skills. In his personal life, he is on a dating app texting Amanda. One day at his work, a man approaches him and asks him if he is Steve Snodgrass, and Steve responds with yes. He wanted him to go outside, and Steve asked if he was a police officer, and he said he was not. They go outside, and he offers Steve a job. The guy's name is Brock, and he is a talent acquisition agent for Fazbear Entertainment. Brock asks Steve to develop horror games to poke fun at all the rumors from Fazbear Entertainment. Steve is aware of the murders that happened there, along with paranormal events. Brock wants Steve to make a series of 4 games, and he wants him to go to a remote location which is more luxurious and has servants to do his job as a bonus. Steve rejects the offer because he wants to be a family-friendly developer, is conflicted about creating games based on events that happened, and for not wanting to be away from Amanda. He gets home, and the next day, he receives a text from the dating app from a beautiful girl named Victoria. Victoria asks Steve on a date at her house, and he accepts. Steve cancels his plans with Amanda and asks his friend Matt for advice. When Matt saw Victoria's picture, he said it was okay to visit her. When he went to Victoria's house, nobody was at home, and he entered and found out that the house was empty without any furniture. He hears a soft, steady mechanical whirring which quickly turns into a loud, high-pitched ringing. Victoria appears, and the sound stops. But eventually, another high-pitched screech fills the room. Steve looks up and sees the red light flashing on the smoke alarm, but when he reaches up to disable it, he passes out. Steve wakes up at the same place, but it's filled with furniture, and there are pictures of Victoria on the walls. Victoria enters the room, and Steve is confused. Victoria explains that he was in a car crash and lost his memory. They are married and have 2 kids, Abigail and Avery. Brock comes to the house and tells Steve that the game developer offer is still open, which he accepts now, but only if he can work from home. At night, Steve hears noises coming from the living room, and he goes to the living room only to find that Abigail is sleepwalking. But Steve feels haunted by nighttime visions and fears every night, but he uses those feelings to put into his game. Steve hears rumbling noises in the walls, and his wall begins to form a giant bubble which pops, splattering an oily, black substance all over the room. For some reason, Victoria does not see anything and tells Steve to go back to sleep. DJ Dan, the music man, announces a heavy snowstorm outside, making it so that no one can go out and leave their homes. The ringing in Steve's ears is getting worse and worse every day. Weirdly, when he is working on his game, the ringing stops, and Steve finishes his first game. But to get his salary, he must complete all 4 games because that is on the contract he signed. The ringing in Steve's ears is getting worse and worse every day. Weirdly, when he is working on his game, the ringing stops, and Steve finishes his first game. But to get his salary, he must complete all 4 games because that is on the contract he signed. On the radio, DJ Dan is reporting more snow, and he brings up Valentine's Day. Steve apologizes to Victoria for not giving her anything. Steve changes the radio channel, and it turns out it's all static, and there are no other channels than DJ Dan's channel. When Steve finishes the 3rd and 4th games, he goes downstairs only for the walls to pulsate again. The ceiling cracks, revealing a basketball-sized spider. The abdomen opens, and hundreds of tiny spiders fall out of it and swarm Steve. Steve screams, making Victoria come to help him, and when she arrives, there are no spiders on him. Steve's ringing worsens when he tries to leave the house. Steve takes the fire alarm from the wall and breaks it. The ringing stopped, but now he could hear the sounds of wheels turning and gears grinding, like a factory. Steve looks around the room, and it seems like the house is a bit different, too, with tread marks on the floor and hinged trapdoors on the walls and ceiling exactly where the creatures attacked him. Steve hears something moving, making him hide inside the closet, and he looks only to find out that Victoria is a robot with a human face, and the children also are animatronics. DJ Dan tells Steve to push a red button on the radio that lets him create his reality. DJ convinces Steve by telling him how his previous life was lonely and sad, while he is happy with Victoria and his kids in his new life. Steve presses the button, making the high-pitched ringing come back. Steve then feels dizzy and falls. Suddenly everything is still. Steve looks at the doorway, and he sees Victoria. Steve wakes up and comes to hug Victoria, but then Victoria starts stabbing him, and that's how the story ends. I love the story, but it's also confusing me sometimes, but it still has a fantastic mystery behind all of this, and I think this story is the top rank for me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in Tales from the Pizzaplex number 2, HAPPS story number 2 HAPPS.